53.
What type of driver for screws looks like a hexagon?
Okay, so what type of driver looks like a hexagon? It's not a Phillips. What do you guys?
A hexagon.
Not a hexagon driver.
Like
Is that a star driver?
Star bit.
You guys are thinking of something different. Okay, so right up here, number 52 or no, 53. Sorry. So what the answer is, it's an Allen wrench. Okay, so we're gonna go through the different types of drive. So these ones, what I want you guys to do, the ones that we're gonna go through quick. These are the ones that I want you to know, be able to basically identify them by a picture and what are some of the main points that you have. Okay, so here's your basic one. What would this be? Okay, so either a flathead or a straight. Okay, so that's your flathead or your straight bit. These are common in the old type of woodworking that you see, back from like the 60s and 70s. They're kind of getting away from them. Does anyone know why? Or not kind of, they are getting away from them. Why, Alex?
Because you can't get as much grip.
Yeah, if you've ever tried to work with them, you need to have exactly like the right size screwdriver or bit itself. Otherwise, like here, if you try taking the small one, try to twist it, you're not really going to get that much leverage. It's going to either end up stripping out the screwdriver or the driver head itself. Also, it tends to be a pain because they slide back and forth. There's no real position that it's locked in. Okay? So, that's that one. The next most common one is this one. What would this? A Phillips head. Okay? Hey, guys, shh. So you have your Phillips head. Okay, that's your most common one. Sometimes you'll also see that these have a combination of a Phillips and square bit. Okay, and what I mean by that is you have your square drive right here. Every once in a while, you actually have a combination. You guys can kind of see that this fits in there. This driver, the square driver, fits in there snug with the actual Phillips head itself. Okay, so there is a combination between a Phillips and a square. There are some with just a square drive. Okay, like here. Okay, pretty simple to remember. If it looks like a square, it's a square drive. Okay. Some of one that what you guys talked about was the star or a Torx bit. Okay, that if you guys see here, it has that. Basically, it has the hexagon, but there's these little indents. Okay, which ends up making it the star. Okay, so this one right here is your star or Torx. T-O-R-X. Okay. And that's the same type of thing. More and more screws are going to this. Does anyone know why they would kind of go that way?
Get more like
yeah, it has more of a grip. And these pegs right here, they interlock better. There's different sizes of them though, so that's one thing that you need to be careful of. That just like anything else, you have different sizes. So the larger or smaller the screw, these go by like T25, T20, things like that. So you just want to make sure that you end up having the right size bit for the screw head, because otherwise, if this is too small, okay, same thing as what ends up happening with the flat blade screwdriver. If it's too small or too big, you're going to either you're either not going to get a grip on it if it's too big, or if it's too small, you're just going to end up stripping it out. And you can either end up stripping out the head of the screw, or on some of these, you can actually, if you do it enough, you'll actually round off this. So then it's basically a circle drive, and then you have to just throw it out. Okay. So that's one thing we'll talk about, what to do when they strip out and things like that. What the question was asking today is which one looks like a hexagon. If you guys can kind of see this. Which one's better? Right there. Okay, so basically all this is a hexagon. What's the? An Allen wrench. Okay. Where'd my pencil go? So Allen, A-L-L-E-N. Okay, so you have your Allen wrench. So that's the answer for today. These ones are more or less used for set screws. So if you guys can kind of see, if I can zoom in if that makes it better at all. You can kind of see right in here, there's a set screw on this countersink bit. And what that is, it just, a lot of times these set screws are either for depth stops, so like if you're working on like a drill press or something, and you only want to go down a certain depth, it uses for that. Or in a situation like this, you're not going to have a screw because it's not actually fastening anything in there. It's just setting on this shank, this drill bit. Okay, so if I were to pull this set screw out, all you would really see is that you would end up having a shank that's the same diameter, or the head that's the same diameter as the shank, and then just a series of threads. Okay. All right. That's that. Oh, one last one is you have this right here. Okay. Just your wrench, or yeah. So this is another type of drive, 6-sided wrench. Things like that, box wrench. All right, one last thing I want to talk about is just general things. Okay, actually no. All right. Remember that by the end of this week, your $23 is due for your project. Okay, so that means everyone needs to turn that in. If you guys are unable to, come up with the money, let me know. We'll figure something out. So by Friday, you need to end up having your $23 in. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is basically the deadlines. Right now we have 7 weeks left, and again, that's for everyone though. So that's not taking into account how many days you're going to be gone, or days you don't feel like working. Okay, so once this turns on. Alright, well, while we're waiting for this thing to warm up, listen up, guys. By the end of the week, this week, you should have your, in order to stay on track, you should have your plywood sides basically cut and your handles attached. Okay, so that's what you should end up working on this week, is your plywood sides and attaching your handles. Okay, if you guys aren't to that point, or you know that you're not going to be able to make it up, start coming in either before or after school or during your study halls. Okay, so if I go, let's just find you working. Okay, so here we are, right here. This is this week, the 22nd. You should, in order, like I said, in order to stay on track, you should end up having your plywood sides done and your handles attached. This week here is for actually, you can use that for actually attaching the sides, assembling them all together, placing in your bottom, and attaching your bottom to your leg assembly. Okay? But you can see here that your top is going to take a while, and so is the finish. So your finish and your hardware, all that type of stuff. Okay? So again, if you guys aren't to this point, you should probably start coming in either before or after school. Any questions? Great.
You want grade